Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It is G here. Guys, I am sitting in my bed working on a crochet project, and I want to get right into this discussion because and maybe this is something that everyone else has already been like, girl, we've been talking about that, and I just haven't heard anyone talking about it. But I really want to talk about how we have this polarized parallel, Black women and Asian women, in regards to fetishization and the colonization of our sexuality. Okay, are you guys gonna be able to stick around with me for this conversation? Because it actually does have some spillover into like the Asian males and Black men as well. But I really maybe you guys have already been talking about this. Maybe I'm late to the discussion. And if you stay around to the end, I'll probably show you what I'm working on. Anyway, guys, subscribe to my channel and let's have a little chat.
I'm not a bitch. I'm more like a bitchalante because I'm only mean to those who deserve it.
All right. So, I was scrolling through some TikToks or social media or whatever, and I ran across this woman, this Asian woman's post, and she was responding to a comment from a white man saying that Asian women prefer to date white men, and that they were not attracted to Asian men. And I started to think about this and this stereotype about Asian women, and that stereotype being that they're, soft, they're like more feminine, they're more submissive, all of those things that supremacy culture teaches us are valuable in women, right? Like they fit that kind of ideal in the stereotype, right? And then that's also why white men are more interested in them, right? Because they fall right into this idea. Not that that's all Asian women, but this is a stereotype. And if we look at Black women, it's the polar opposite, but parallel, right? So Black women, aggressive, not submissive, masculine. We all be, over here fighting and we don't know how to submit, all these things, right? So it's really interesting. And I looked up a statistic, and it actually said, because in this comment it was basically, saying that Asian women prefer white men, and it's not true. Actually, Asian women are relatively loyal to their ethnicities, and only about I think it was like 20% of Asian marriages were with white men, or maybe it was like other. It could have been all, but I think it was white men. So it's not a ton. It's not a ton of, Black women are still probably more race loyal, but it wasn't like 40% of, or 60. It's only 20%. All right. So more Asian women who are married to Asian men. But there's a stereotype about them. And you can hear or find commentary of Asian women who do date out, speaking negatively of Asian men. They're not sexually this, they're, small, woohoos, and all that. And it's interesting because that kind of parallels with how we hear Black men talk about Black women a lot, right? Oh, they're too masculine, they're too aggressive, they don't know how to submit, right? And despite this, we know there are other statistics that show how when Black women date, marry out, or whatever, that they have far more successful relationships than Black men with any other ethnicity of person, right? And so we know that these things about Black women that they say, the inability of them to couple properly, is not true. And we can see from statistics that the same is not true of Asian women and how they necessarily feel about, Asian men. But these stereotypes exist. And it's interesting because for me, it's just wrapped up in supremacy culture. It's wrapped up in this idea, again, that Asian people, who they have used as the model minority for, centuries, against Black people, like, these things have affected our relations within the community of color with each other. And some people try to move and live into those stereotypes because they feel like it gets them something, gets them somewhere. But a lot of us who are really trying to decolonize our mind and to look at how these things have been affecting us in an overall sense through patriarchy, through supremacy culture, through all of these things, like, where does it lead us? And so for me, when I'm starting to think about this, and I saw and felt this parallel, because the same as there's the parallel between the Asian men and Black men. Asian men are kind of like socially emasculated in the sense that they're referred to as like more feminine. Like, you will hear like the stereotypes that Asian men don't have, enough, enough enough of a boat in the ocean. I'm trying not to get in trouble on YouTube. But, and then Black men are, allotted for their being overly sexualized, right? Like, yes. Anyway, so as we've been talking about this idea of decolonizing our minds and women working on decentering men, for me, I also start looking at how supremacy culture and colonization has ultimately affected and changed our perspectives of each other, right? So when you feed into these stereotypes, especially when you don't actually know people of these cultures, like, a lot of times, like, I've actually dated an Asian guy. I have friends who definitely Asian women, female friends, that do not fit these kind of stereotypes in the sense of being, overly submissive and quiet and, keeps their opinions to themselves. I don't know these chicks, right? I don't know any of these chicks, but these stereotypes persist. I mean, it's even the stereotypes with white women being submissive, where we see Karens every day on the street screaming at people. They still maintain like these ideas about these women because men continue to try and pit women against each other, y'all. It's all a part, like, isn't it interesting when you think about it? Men will say that women are emasculating them when they emasculate each other through toxic masculinity and talking about, what trying to never redefining what it is to be a man, but only want to redefine it with women. Like, they want to have patriarchy, but not really. That's a whole nother discussion. But as I'm thinking about these parallels and how we treat each other because of them, and how it's affected dating and relationships, and the ability for women to even connect sometimes, because we as women combat each other in these, it's so much, it's crazy, because we as women, have still this idea in ourselves of competition with other women, when we're all suffering in these parallel ways from these supremacist ideas that have been put upon us. And that's what I kept seeing in these, as like I was reading through more and more things about like how, Asian women are seen. It's like this direct parallel with Black women, but it's this polarized parallel, because it's on the opposite ends of the spectrum, where Black women are overly sexualized. Asian women are overly sexualized and fetishized in a different way. But we all end up in the same fucking place in many, many instances, right? I mean, when we start talking about how men really are, do they treat anybody any differently based on their ethnicity or skin tone or whatever? Nope. There are women getting played to the left, right, up, down, regardless of all of these ideologies that we still try and like we're still connected to. Men aren't behaving any differently or any better, but we as women are still like fucking ourselves because we can't find common ground even amongst ourselves. Because I keep thinking like men would be so much different if women were different, if we were stopped, if we as a global collective was like, yeah, no, none of us is gonna deal with it. Absolutely none of us. That is the only way that you can reshape how men behave socially. But we as women can't do that. And they keep reiterating these kind of stereotypes to us. So like Asian women like this, and then there are Asian women who date out who will play into those roles. And they'll start, talking negatively about Asian men. I mean, I know there's more of a campaign to try and get Asian men seen differently. And there are some hot Asian dudes out there. Come on now. Come on now. And there are also plenty of black men who do not have large penises. I've heard plenty of stories, y'all. My friend was like messing around with this guy who was like 6'4". He dropped trout and she was just like, it looked like a little thumb was like poking out at her, and she was just like, no thank you, sir. So you just never know. Yeah, no. So are you guys already like, am I late? Everyone's already been said this. They already been like, girl, yes, we already know. They labeled us in these opposite ways and we are working on those. Am I late to the game? We've already done it. We've seen those, like, is that even a thing? Polarized, polarized. Because if it's not, I want to be attributed to some kind of new phrase in our social structure. Did I do anything there? Nothing? Okay, fine. Anyway, you guys want to see what I'm working on? Because as I'm thinking about these relationship things, and I think it's related to our culture and how we can work on relating to one another culturally, I feel like these are things that are important to discuss. I think that these are things that are important to think about, because part of, I feel like, our next phase as humans needs to be more connected in some way. And if women are working towards more and more decentering men, then I think we need to see each other's experience in how patriarchy has played out in our lives and what supremacy culture has done to us. Because if we don't, then as women, we are going to continue to have like these struggles to really move forward as women, as a collective, and change our lives and change our well-being and change how we are in this world. And I'm like, I don't consider myself a feminist in any sense, because modern day feminists is to me just white women screaming about white women shit, and it does not lead to voices for anyone else. If I had to be anything, I guess I'd be a womanist. But I do believe that we as women need to have like more of a collective standard for ourselves, especially when it comes to men. So this is my shawl that I'm working on, guys. What do you think? I think it's pretty. I don't know. I keep making it bigger, which is why it's not finished. I think I want it to be like my summer thing. We're getting ready to go to the sea soon, so I'll be doing videos from the sea soon. But guys, yeah, subscribe to my channel, and I would love to talk to you guys in the comments about this. If I'm like late to a conversation, and you just tell me, because maybe everyone's already been like, girl, we've been talking about this for decades, and I've just missed the conversation. I don't get a lot of time to connect with people. I'm in my little weekend sanctuary bedroom. So guys, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to having conversation in the comments. I would love for people to enlighten me more about like this kind of idea and topic. And ciao for now.